Hi friends, today I wanted to cover the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz eyeshadow palette. But if it's your first time here, hi. I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, then you can head over to my Instagram. If you want to check out my virtual class schedule and up and comings, well then please sign up for my newsletter down below. This is not going to be a standard review, as I feel across the board people love the Rose Quartz palettes. It was a hot item during the Sephora holiday savings event, and judging from the comments under that video, I figured we pretty much enjoy it, and this video is just to do some more looks with it and also to present full swatches, as I did a shortened version in my Sephora video. A quick note about the color story, however, I'm sure you could recognize that this is primarily rose, mauve, gray, lavender, and what stand out is of course these duochrome colors that have these lovely blue purple iridescent shifts. Rose Quartz also includes this Petri dish shade, which debuted in Naughty Nudes, and I don't know what the general consensus was with this type of texture. It's basically a jelly-like base with pearl beads suspended in the base, and when you mix it all together, you are presented with this opalescent, shiny texture that you could wear on its own. Maybe you can even use for more adherence under any of the metallics in here. Because I totally destroyed this palette originally when you first open it, these shades had a marble design that looked stunning and I didn't even want to use them. And I want to quickly go to the Huda site because you have a lot of textures in one palette. 8 matte, 3 high shine metallics, 3 pearly soft shine metallics, 3 quartz inspired multi shimmer marble creams, 1 crushed stone pearly gloss hybrid, that's the Petri dish shade, and this all retails for $67. It's an expensive palette, that's why I wanted to make sure I grabbed it during the Sephora sale. I have been enjoying this palette. I really like it in terms, again, of the color story here. I love my roses and my mauves, and the fact that Rose Quartz includes the more opalescent multi-chrome shades here that can really change the look into something that's more subdued and more like moon princess type of a feel. Let's start off with the swatches, shall we? Quartz, Aura, and Gratitude. Next 3 we have Cosmic Love, Empower, and Joy. Precious, Energized, Love Stone. Energized is shiny. When you see the demo, fam, get ready. Next up we have Cherish, Blissful, and Happiness. Blissful is definitely one of those shades that you can apply by itself or lightly tap over the more traditionally formulated metallics in the palette. Next 3 we have Mantra, Abundance, Serenity, and now we have Abundance. This trio right here, look instantly. And the last 3 we have Moon Magic, Radiate, and Self-Love. So here are all the swatches from Rose Quartz. Again, I think a comprehensive color story that has a little bit for everyone here. You have the more earthy shades coming from this side, as shown with Aura and Gratitude, and then you get more into the pinky lavender, even mauve here, as shown with Radiate. And again, appreciate the fact that shades like Moon Magic and Cosmic Love are in here. If you want to really bump up the look, add a little bit of extra shine and just something else to the mix besides just rose and beige. Now with those swatches out the way, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. Demoing a look I did last week, why don't we kick it off with Gratitude? Going my way, Goss number 5. I'm taking this color quickly through my crease. In regards to the mattes, I think they blend quite well, especially the more rose tone shades. And what I love about Gratitude specifically is that although warm, it has a rosiness to it that I feel a nice escape from your typical neutral brown terracotta shades that are typically applied in the crease first as a first laydown shade. And I think the hue is lovely. It adds more dimension to the look, and we're pulling that right away under the lash line here. The next shade I went in was Aura, and Aura is not the deepest shade in here. Mantra is that's more like an eggplant type of a hue. Aura has a rosiness to it, but definitely more of a plummy rose. I don't know if you can detect that here on camera. I'm placing Aura on the outer V as I want to create smoky brackets, and I'll place that same shade now on the inner part of the lid. I like to tap on my darker colors first and then go in with another brush to blend the edges so I can get the most color payoff initially. I'm wrapping Aura down under just 1/4 in under the lash line here. And whenever you feel you applied too much eyeshadow, you can use a concealer brush, not with new product on, maybe with leftover, just to tap around the edges to refine the blend. Okay, originally I went in on the lid with Energized. Energized is a little more cool in the undertone. I like the contrast. I do want to try Quartz, however. I think Quartz has a warmer hue to it. You could go in with either, whether Quartz or Energized, but if you want to keep the overall feel of this eye look more warm, then Quartz will go lovely with Aura and Gratitude. I'm using my Tansedo brush to tap on Quartz, and I think these marble textures are easy to work with. They do have that cream consistency that's not super wet. Doesn't feel like Love Stone, that gel type of a shade. It's definitely more creamy, but when applied on the skin, it takes on more of a powder texture that's easy to blend and easy to layer on other shadows. Love that combination. And I thought maybe if you wanted to see Energized in action, I'll take a smaller brush, and I like to introduce more pops of colors here on the inner part of my lash line. So I'll go in with Energized here. Again, you could have went in with the shade on the lid instead of Quartz, but if you want to introduce another shade and you might think Energized a lot for the lid, then placing it here on the lower inner part of your eye. Because there was a truck sitting right across from me, I had to just do this eye without any audio, and now quickly wanted to run through what I did. I started off the look with Radiate, which definitely has a more cooler mauve tone, and a matte I felt I had to build up quite a bit. I used the same Wayne Goss 05 brush, but once I built it up to a color I wanted to continue with, I followed with Happiness, which didn't provide depth per se, just more of a pinkier tone on the outer portion of my lid. Then I followed with Cosmic Love. Now what I found with a few of these marble shades, with the exception of Quartz and Energized definitely have more of a creamier tone that I feel has better adherence than Cosmic Love, Blissful, or Moon Magic. I think these textures are more appropriate to layer on others that have better adherence, because when you see, even with a finger application, Cosmic Love is very soft. It doesn't have great stick on the lid. I then followed with Empowered just to provide a little bit of depth on the outer corner. I didn't want to go in with Mantra per se. The Eggplant Plum in the palette, I wanted just to use a different texture, different color. Then I went in with Blissful on the inner corner, and again didn't have the same stick that I was looking for. So then I grabbed Pat McGrath's Intensifies wand, placed that over the lid just with the shadow there already, went in with Cosmic Love with my finger, and that definitely did the trick. So if you have the Intensifies or not saying you have to buy this product specifically. You can then apply a little more primer on the lid where you want to apply Cosmic Love, Blissful, or Moon Magic on, just so that if you want this to be your main stage shade, I would suggest that again you prep the lid before its application. If you want it to be more of a topper moment, then apply one of the metallics in here and then lightly tap Cosmic Love on top. So yes, the softer texture does make it more versatile in terms of the different possibilities you can use it for. I also applied the intensifies on my inner corner and then followed with Blissful to get more punch and shine from that shade. And on the lower lash line, I combined both Radiate and Happiness, applied a little more Empowered on the outer corner of the lash line, and on the inner lower third, I went in with Joy just to introduce another color to the mix. I thought this was a lovely pink shade that had an opalescent look to it, and combined with Cosmic Love and Blissful, I thought was a nice eye look altogether. And here is a close-up shot of the first eye I did using the more rosier tones, and the second eye that I just presented now, giving you a couple of angles here just so you can see the colors and the textures. And with the exception of Cosmic Love and Blissful in terms of me taking that extra step to get the most punch and opacity from them, I found that both looks were fairly easy to achieve. I will say, however, do proceed with caution when dealing with Cosmic Love, Blissful, and Moon Magic, because there is fallout with those shades. If you don't wish to have fallout on your face, because remember, it does have the blue and purple shifts in the pigments. Once you get it on your face, it could be a little tricky to brush away without any residue. If you do not want to take that risk, I would then suggest you do your eyes first and face makeup afterwards. With these two looks out the way, let's take this off and follow with the next two. Starting off the next round with Serenity, which seems to be more of a pastel lavender shade that has nice color to it. It doesn't blend away or appears like nothing. If you want, you could also use Cherished, which is lighter in hue. The lighting is blasting it a little bit, but you could also use this on the very edges of Serenity if you wanted to create a more pronounced gradient. But Serenity on its own, again, I think has a really lovely pastel look to it. And what I think is the reason people enjoy this palette is because you have the cool lavender pastels, but you also have the warmer rose shades that I think more daily friendly in terms of the general makeup population, right? The shades that people tend to gravitate towards, but nice to introduce these pastels or just to have available for you to mix it up. Now let's go in with Mantra. Mantra is the darkest matte in the palette. This does pack a punch. With that said, I'm gonna grab a smaller brush. This is the Esum S35 brush. It's a small goat hair brush. Ooh, wrong side. And I'm tapping that on the very outer corner. This is similar to what I did in my Sephora video. I was quite impressed with Mantra in terms of its depth of color. Now you see is a lot cooler in tone than Aura, which, you know, I appreciate that there is a darker matte in here so you can steer the look to appear more smoky. However, you can rely on the metallics instead to steer the look and not only just rely on matte shades, you know, if you like. I went a little crazy with Mantra, so I'm just buffing that out from the inner part of my brow. And again, as I mentioned in my first demo, if you need to buff down the blend, have your concealer brush on standby. Now we're pulling Mantra on the lower lash line. You can see that we're building up a lot of smoke here, which is okay. I want to see where this can go. If you want, you don't have to apply Mantra like I did on the outer lid. You could also just use it for a lash line wing. Now I'll go in with Abundance. I think this will be a lovely shade to apply on the lid. And this definitely has a lot more stick than the marble shades in here. Is very creamy. This has a lovely lavender silver hue to it, very shiny in terms of the finish. And just to present a way you could use one of the special shades, I'm going to lightly tap Moon Magic here, not pick up a lot of product, and then just tap it along the center of the lid, and you can see how that immediately amplifies the shine for abundance. It gives it a really nice blue flip to it. So if these shades were like abundance, I think you'll have trouble layering them. So that is the advantage of these textures being softer. And if you want it more punch, then again, prep your lid for more adherence. I am going in with my intensifies on the inner corner because I do want to just use Moon Magic on its own for our inner corner highlight moment, and that's going to give us a little more stick and therefore more shine. For the lower lash line, I'll go in with Serenity. I already went in with a little bit of Mantra on the outer corner, so just to complete the blend here, I'm pulling it across. With this eye, maybe we'll go more pink. So let's start off with Happiness. I think kicking off the look with this shade will steer the look overall to be more pinky in tone. Not rose per se like I presented in the first demo, but that pinkier, cooler hue that exists in Happiness, I think will influence the entire look to just be a little more lighter pastel, but with the pink look. And much like Radiate, I have to build this shade up just so it can show up substantially on my eyes, like so. Not too bad. Out of curiosity though, I do want to go in with Aura. Now we see how Aura acts with Gratitude. Let's see how the tone in Aura plays with the tone in Happiness, right? Because I'm sure you can assume if I went in with Mantra, then the whole look would steer more cool, right? But with the influence of Aura's more earthy, just slightly redder tone here in the rose shade, I think it will appear softer, but I do think the pink color still mostly dominates the eye. I'll go in with Aura now on the lower lash line, again wrapping it up towards the top. Now what to do for the lid? We already did Moon Magic, Blissful, well, we didn't do Blissful on the majority of the lid. If you want to see Lovestone, just so you could take a look, Lovestone has a very glossy look to it. It's not going to be ideal for longevity, right? If you think this is going to stay on your lid and not crease, well, that's nice, but I think it will simply because of the nature of the formula. However, we'll keep it there and then maybe go in with Self Love, which has this iridescent pink flip to it. And why not, we'll put it on top of Lovestone just to see how that looks. I definitely feel it helps adhere the texture of Self Love. Self Love reminds me of Quartz in terms of feeling very creamy in the pan, but applying more like a powder when in contact with your lid. And I'm just tapping it in and under the crease to get a cleaner blend there. Tapping Aura over the border of Self Love so I can look a little more smooth. And for the inner corner, why not, we'll go in with Energize. Energize is definitely cooler, but I think it'll be an interesting contrast with what we have going on. It's lovely shine for sure. And if we wanted to steer Energize to be more pink, I can go back in with Self Love, tap it over Energized, and it will steer the undertone to be a little more iridescent pink leaning versus silvery taupey. Let's take Aura a little deeper in and under the lash line, because for the inner corner, I already did Joy. I could do Moon Magic. I also could do Quartz. I could do Quartz and kind of keep this within the realm of pink, right? Quartz definitely has more of a warmer pink look to it. I think is a nice gradient from the cooler look of Energized. And it's cleaning up here so it could appear a little smoother. And we have the finished look again. Some close-up shots for demo 2. You can see on the right eye is a lot more smokier, cooler in tone. And the other side, although resembles the first eye we did, I think more pink leaning because of Happiness anchoring down the entire look. But I love integrating Aura as the more plummy red tone, I think makes it maybe a little more daily friendly to some who usually don't use cooler tone shadows. But as I said before, I believe that's what makes this palette appealing, is that it mixes the different types of undertones, but the color vibe is the same, right? Rosy, lavender. It definitely lives in that realm, especially if you rely on like the moon magic shades to tie them all together, but to also provide a little more dazzle, a little more flip if you wanted to kind of alter the DNA, if you will, of the metallics in here, right? For instance, Empowered, which definitely more of like a grayish eggplant tone. If you wanted to introduce more blue, then you can apply Moon Magic on top. If you wanted to introduce a little more of like that maroon, I can't even identify this flip. It's like a maroon base with a blue silver flip, then you can tap it on top of Empowered. I like that you have those choices. It definitely is worth mixing up and just experimenting. You do have 15 shades in here, and for $67, if you did buy this for retail price, I would heavily encourage that you use as many shades as possible. Just have fun with how you combine them. Although I didn't do all the possible combinations in this video, I don't think you'll run into muddiness, especially if you're conservative, right? Because I know sometimes people combine like 3 different mattes. If you choose 2 mattes, one moderate in color tone and the other a little deeper, you'll be okay. If you start to like, I don't know, go in with, let's say, Cherish, then Aura, then Mantra, maybe you might run into extra blending, okay? I would just keep it simple. Maybe dedicate yourself to just using this palette for an entire week so you can fully explore the possibilities of all the shades in here, of the different textures, and truly get a grasp of what rose quartz can offer. Let me know what you think about the palette down below, fam. What your favorite color combinations are, what your favorite shades are. I will see you down in the comments. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you in here again with another review tutorial. Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette extravaganza. You never know. Monthly favorites or vlog. Take care, and I will see you again soon.